We use masking tape to secure the paper, which helps keep the edges crisp and prevents warping. Mark the horizon line at the top third of the page to create a clear division between the sky and the sea. Draw a small boat just below the horizon line. Now draw the mast and sails. Keep the pencil pressure very light. Lighten the boat sketch with an eraser. Use masking tape to mark the horizon line. Lighten the horizon line with an eraser. Now, spray water on your paints. This activates the colors. Use a large flat brush to wet the sky area for the wet-on-wet technique. Use light turquoise for the sky. Mix the blue paint on the palette until it's smooth. Mix light yellow paint on the palette for the lower sky. Mix some yellow-orange on the palette. Rinse your brush, then paint the blue from the top using left to right strokes. Make sure you have enough water and paint on your brush to wet the paper completely. Rinse your brush and use yellow for the lower part of the sky. Blend the yellow and blue where they meet using your brush. Mix a darker blue and apply it to the corners and shadow areas at the top of the sky. Repeat this process with yellow for the lower part of the sky. Using the darker blue, blend the darker areas from the corners into the sky as shown in the example. Let the sky dry for 5 minutes, then remove the middle tape. Do this slowly and carefully so you don't damage the paper. Now, we are going to use the dry brush technique. We need the paint to be thick and rich, so I'm mixing a concentrated blue on my palette. Our brushstrokes should be like the waves of the sea. We need the white parts of the paper to remain white. We are using a flat, angled brush. Paint with short and long strokes, horizontally like the sea. Make sure to leave the white parts untouched. Pay attention to my hand movement. Mix a concentrated light blue on your palette. We need to create the highlights and shadows of the sea on the paper from the very beginning. Apply the light blue shades with high concentration in between the wave. Use back and forth brush strokes to apply the paint onto the paper. Apply the areas with more paint density and more color intensity onto the paper in my painting. The brush strokes you paint should look more like sea waves. The waves in the foreground are larger, while the waves in the distance are smaller. Now, let's add the shadows and depth. Take a small, round, wet brush to soften the bottom of the waves. Make the tips of the waves a darker color. This helps to add more volume to our work. Make the tips of the waves a darker color. This helps to add more volume to our work. Use a dark color to separate the boat from the sea. You want to create the shape of the boat's shadow in the water. The waves are larger underneath the boat. And the further they get from the boat, the more faded and smaller they become. Paint the white spaces between the boat and the sea with blue. Using a small brush, and blend it into the waves. We are painting the shadows of the waves with dark blue in between them. Now it is time to paint the boat's hull and sails with dark colors. Soften it by blending and add a little bit of red or brick red color to the boat's hull. Paint the sails with light blue and a touch of gray. And with a clean, slightly damp brush, you blend the colors. I am drawing a small figure of someone inside the boat, along with the objects inside it. Using a small brush with black or brown paint, I paint small birds in the shape of a V around the boat and in the sky. Finally, using a small brush, we blend the line between the sea and the sky into each of them. Pulling a little bit of the sea's color into the sky. Using a white marker, optionally, we add highlights between the wave. Our painting is finished, and now it's time to remove the masking tape. The final and beautiful part of our work is signing it.